I'm doing this video specifically to not only kind of sort of update my builds in terms of what you guys know what I'm using now for endgame, and I mean fucking endgame, but at the same time I also want to demonstrate and explain why I believe this is the absolute best all-around build you could have in terms of every little aspect. So much research, time, money spent, full-on thought process came into this full-on setup that I have here. It is crazy what this thing can do, also what it has done for me personally, and also the idea behind it for longevity and overall just stop spending your money everywhere. Because again, once you set this up to what it is, there's nothing to think about. And the crazy thing about me is, if you guys see me throughout the years, if you guys obviously have been here a while, for those that have been sticking around, and obviously those that are new, obviously you don't know, but for those that have been sticking around, you guys know I've been upgrading my parts left and right, in and out, constantly talking about different things. I'm gonna go through today and tell you guys why it's almost impossible for me to figure out what else I could do with this setup entirely. There's really nothing else that I need to do with this build. So what I did is I'm pretty much doing another review, but a review with obviously the new stuff that I've added, and on top of that the explanation, the full-on explanation to why, if you're looking for building a PC to the utmost echelon tier of gaming, longevity, no bottlenecks, esports, competitive, you know, graphically amazing, story-based, driven fucking design, whatever you want to fucking put into what you want to do with your PC in terms of just an all-arounder, here you are. This is the absolute build. So please follow, like, and subscribe. Truly means the world to me. I am a streamer, obviously, for those that are new. I'm a streamer on Twitch. Please follow that Twitch. Come watch my content. As you guys see on YouTube, a lot of you guys like my review stuff way more than my content of gaming, and I've been putting out some content, and I need to be recognized for it once in a while. You know, it's really hard to see all that and not get much views. Working on that, kind of using this last ride to see if my gameplay is worth even doing as a streamer content creator, if I'm going to be successful in this. So this whole year, the rest of this year, is 100% grinding. So please show me some support. You know, 2,000 follows on Twitch, please. Maybe get me up to 2,500 follows on YouTube, something, you know, just get me up there. I mean, even 2,000 is just, anything is truly appreciated in the end. But please just try to help me out here, you know, where I'm trying to grow here. I know you guys all have passions. I have passion. I'm really trying at this passion. So please, you know, any pointers or anything in the comment section to what you think would help with, you know, getting some follows and some routes I could take, please comment section. You know, if you have opinions on any of these parts or questions about these parts of anything I'm using, comment section, so on and so forth, please. Truly appreciate it. The world, it means the world to me, honestly. Before I do continue, real quick though, because I know it's already about 3 minutes into this video, I just want to mention too that this is designed around a brand that supports me, and I support it since day one, and they've been sticking through me thick and thin, and the products have been good. Razer, obviously a lot of people have their opinions on Razer. If you have your opinion on Razer, please hold back your opinion on Razer, unless you want to just be a troll and say something, by all means. But Razer, I believe, is the best tech on the market. Actually, it is proven best tech on the market. But in terms of like the quality control and stuff, they're a massive brand. A lot of people have a lot of quality control issues. So please keep that a little bit of your personal opinion to the side, and just be open-minded about what I'm talking about here and what the idea behind this is. And at the end, I mean, it's a little bit of a messy desk right now because I've been working these crazy hours. You know, I'm not really cleaned up yet. It's supposed to be today's the cleaning day after this video. So please, I'm gonna show you guys everything that I have, kind of a close-up view, what I'm seeing personally as the content creator. And then like I said, you guys leave your opinion and in the comments about what you think. And obviously I'm gonna get to the very finite detail about why this build has just been nothing short of wow factor, amazing, something that a lot of people don't even realize that they could possibly be using for their setup, and not running into issues like I've seen many others with even better tech. So please just listen, you know, give your humble opinion if you have a humble opinion about it, and or if you just want to show some support, I'm here in the comment section. Please do that. Appreciate it. Anyways, I got Amazon links pulled up, so we're gonna just go right off the bat and do Amazon links. I'm gonna start with peripherals. I don't even have all my peripherals listed, so anything that I don't have listed will be in the description or in my about section on YouTube or even Twitch. There is literal spec by spec what I have, what I'm using, even to the finite detail of, say, the mouse bungee by Razer. I have that in the description. Again, if you're just curious about what I'm using outside of a lot of things. So please, that's not listed. Just look for that there. And if you have questions, let me know, and I can help you out as much as possible with anything. But let's just get into it. Amazon links first, and then I'm gonna show you guys kind of what I'm looking at on a daily basis and what I'm using on a daily basis. Obviously, I didn't list the chair, I didn't list the mouse bungee, I didn't list the headset stand. By all means, fuck it, right? Going with just the main components. So we're hopping in right now. So anyways, I hope you like my background. I think that's pretty badass. It kind of matches with the theme. It's like a purple, green, and the idea is, you know, Braven, Razor. That was the mental thought process behind it, because I'm purple, Razor's green. We all know that. It looks really good together. Don't start giving me the Barney comments. I already expected it. So just please hold that off. Okay. Anyways, so we're going to go into Amazon links. Starting off with the keyboard. So I have the Razer Black Widow V4 75%. Now, before anybody says anything, yes, the review's pretty bad. I think this keyboard is launched very sporadically in terms of the quality control. I don't want to say the quality control is bad, because my unit is 100% good. It's a fucking amazing keyboard. I have not ran into a single issue. Sounds good, feels good, low latency. It is awesome. But again, I guess with some of the launches, some people have had issues with, you know, maybe key sticking or registering problems. That I don't control. Obviously, I feel for the people that have gotten a copy of this keyboard and it's had issues, but I have nothing short of just an amazing experience with it. And if you have the same experience, you don't really want anything else. But the reason why I got this keyboard is not because of that. So yes, it has 8,000 hertz polling. I could go into the description here and out, you know, obviously we'll just give you a little bit of views of it. It is hot swappable. So the hot swappable switches, if a switch breaks, swap the switch. Simple as that. Longevity purpose, you know, don't have to think about a keyboard ever again if this keyboard can just last, and all you have to do is swap out switches when they go bad. Simple as that. RGB looks amazing. I'm a big fan of lights. Old school raver guy here, so obviously lights are everything to me. I know a lot of people like more of a calm aesthetic, but you could obviously turn off the lights if you don't want all that, you know what I mean? It's still a very good keyboard, very good keyboard from my experience at least. It's got the lubricated stabilizers, FR4 plate, pour on gaskets, plate foam. I mean, obviously I'm reading from this here, but in the end they made it enthusiast can be with the gamer feel to it. And the gamer feel is the one thing I want to talk about, which is the 8,000 hertz polling. So the 8,000 hertz polling on this, you could go from 2,000, 4,000, 8,000. It's just really good for keeping that latency a little lower for a mechanical switch. It makes it just that much more snappier. So it definitely kind of still goes into the bargain of you could be competitive with this keyboard, which I have, movement and all. But at the same time, you know, it's more or less like an all-around keyboard. It's got media function buttons. It's got, you know, the RGB glow on the side, so it looks good. It's really just an all-around good gaming keyboard, and that's why I keep it and why I main it, specifically because once again, I could do almost everything with it. It's an all-arounder. That's what this whole video is going to be pretty much about, is just the idea of it being all-around. So if you're looking for an all-around keyboard, you don't want to just settle with a gaming performance keyboard where you might type on something later and go, I don't really care about the typing. This keyboard does it all. It does it all very good, too. It's a very good keyboard. Again, it's just, hopefully you don't get a bad copy. I don't know what it is with the launch of this, but it has been pretty up and down for a lot of people. For me, personally, very up, very good. So I'm going to exit out of these as I'm done using them, too, by the way, the tabs. It looks like I had another one. Whoops. Just make sure I'm not tripping. Okay. Yeah, you saw the monitor. We'll talk about the monitor at the end. But anyways, Basilisk V3 wired. I mean, the price, you can't fucking beat it. You know what I mean? That was one of the big things. You can't beat it. You got the 26,000 DPI optical sensor, which is arguably like top 5 sensors on the market right now. It's still a very good sensor. And even on a glass pad, I have used this competitively gaming. Very good mouse for an all-around use. However, this mouse is strictly for games like MMO RPGs or story-based games where I'm just kind of chilling, don't need to really aim too well. I do use it time and time again for FPS competitive gaming, and it does sometimes do really good. It's by far my most favorite shape mouse out there. I mean, it's definitely not perfect because I do have some nitpicks, but as you can see, a 4.7 star rating. Oops, the 4.7 star rating. It's a good mouse, and for the price, you cannot fucking beat it. You know, especially $50. You cannot beat this mouse at all. It's an all-around good mouse, specifically for not only just flexibility but also productivity. It's very, very good. You have your options there, and obviously it looks really good with the underglow aesthetic. It's got the optical switches for latency, obviously wired. Again, if you're not using this as like a competitive mouse at the most part, especially being low sense, you'll definitely love this mouse for sure. It is heavier on the heavier side, but again, me as a high sense gamer, I like more heavy for the specific reason of control. I can control the mouse a little bit more, but still have the speed, and thanks to this mouse pad, which we'll talk about a little bit, that combination is just top tier. And I'm top fragging in games. Almost every game that I go into, my skill is showing out a lot more, so it's cool, it's awesome. However, this mouse specifically, like I said, for the price, can't beat it. You can get used to it and main it, but it ain't my competitive mouse. So this is where I call it my two mice that I have. I call one business and I call one pleasure. This is my pleasure mouse. So anyways, put that aside. You got yourself the business mouse. This is getting down to business. This is the Razer Viper V3 Hyperspeed. Again, it's a little flickier, a little faster. The PTF feed on this is faster. The latency on it is even a little better, being wireless, believe it or not. Battery life, it's external batteries, not internal, so obviously you will never run into battery degradation. It's fucking $65 on sale right now, obviously $69.99 normally. It says frequently returned item. I don't know about that at all because it has good reviews for the most part, so don't ask me about that. That's kind of weird. Maybe it's an Amazon thing, but maybe because people don't like the shape or the way they feels. It's a G Pro Super Light clone, but even better. If you really figure it out, I think it's the sensor placement that gets people, but you got to just get used to the sensor placement. I think that's what the big issue is. This mouse, I believe it or not, is top 3 in the market right now. Believe it or not. Price to performance to fucking longevity, even like mechanical switches, the Gen 2 mechanical switches, so it ain't the lowest latency of an optical switch, but it's literally low latency for a mechanical switch. It's fucking crazy. It's really, really good. You could have it at 8,000 hertz polling wirelessly. It's fucking nuts. It has got the best sensor on the market, bar none, with the 30K optical sensor. This is literally best in class precision, trademarked by Razer. This mouse is fucking nothing short of amazing, honestly. Again, it's just the sensor placement, as you can see there. The sensor placement is a little off. Now, those PTFE feet in the picture are bullshit. They're actually much thicker. I'll show you when I show you the close-up, but the PTFE feet are actually much thicker, which are probably some of the best stock PTFE feet that you could fucking use. It's crazy how good it is. It feels amazing. It's a little longer than the original Viper, so it fills into the back of the palm more, and just literally being that sensor placement there is one of my biggest things, is that your X and Y axis, when you're aiming, say for games like Valorant, CS, something that's more or less just not much verticality, it's more left and right, this mouse does literally a flat line plane X and Y axis very, very clean. Also, what I like about it is at range, using games that just play more competitively, like shooter games, recoil control. This gives you a little bit more extra recoil control with the fine tuning of that sensor placement, which makes it absolutely game changing once you dial it in. It is nuts. It's hard for me to even go back from it. You got obviously the multi-device connectivity for the one dongle. Personal opinion on how you guys want to use that, up to you. I don't use that, don't need to use that, but yeah, it's a very, very good mouse nonetheless. My only gripe about it is, if I have to give a gripe about it, is about the scroll wheel. It's not that it's bad, it's just that the encoder in it feels like it doesn't necessarily want to register if you're flicking really fast, so you got to kind of slow the flick a little bit. But again, scroll wheel, it's not that big a deal. It's not even really anything that I'm complaining about being like a big deal. It's just sometimes I notice flicking too fast in certain games, and I'm going to leave it up to probably being Call of Duty being dog shit, 'cause I hate Call of Duty. But the scroll wheel, yeah, it's like I said, it's not perfect. I think the scroll wheel in the Basilisk is better, and even then the Basilisk scroll wheel I wasn't the hugest fan of. So older Viper series, much better scroll wheel, but I digress. Regardless, the coating, really good. Talked about this in a previous video, and people like the comment I said, natural gamer moisture. I don't know why people like that fucking comment, but when you start having that natural gamer moisture, aka your sweat, kind of gripping onto the mouse more, it feels like it locks it in better, and it feels really good for dialing in. But I do have grips on it, just because, again, I want to feel that grip from the get-go instead of it being a little bit slippery from the start. That grip from the get-go just really comes in handy. So anyways, very, very good mouse. 100% a keeper for sure. And then you got the Razer Atlas tempered glass pad. I believe this is the best glass pad on the market, bar none. And the reason why is because there's so many complaints about glass pad being where you need a sleeve and it's sticky. This, you do not. It's got oleophobic coating, and yes, when you're like, I mean, rubbing my hand on it right now, it's buttery fucking smooth. You're not gonna stick to it. It's fucking good. Even in hot days, I found myself never sticking to it. You do not need a sleeve for this glass pad. And not only that, it's just aesthetically really clean. It doesn't have too much overly done or big logos on it, or too high level of the from the distance from the table up. There's no like thickness of the glass pad. It's very, very good. This is obviously, and it's still like, even using it for almost, I think I'm over a year now at this point. This mouse pad, top tier. If you get used to glass pads, it works great, especially for Hisense gamers. It works great with heavier mice, and you're able to fine track tune. Nothing stops you from micro adjustments. Beautiful. This mouse pad definitely been one of my favorite purchases of my whole setup, still to this day, just because of how game changing it was for me as a fucking esports competitive gamer to literally, up my game on 4.7 star rating. Really good. People like it too. I threw my microphone in here. This is just a tried and true, and look how cheap it is. It's just a tried and true, sounds good. No frills needed. Microphone. You plug it into your computer. You mess with the settings in Razer Synapse, or even in your Windows settings, and guess what? It does everything it needs to. Picks up the mic volume anywhere, all around the room. I mean, I could walk outside, and I could talk through my door. It'll pick up my audio pretty good, as long as you dialed it in properly. Obviously, this is just a really good mic. The only thing is, and once again, a gripe about this is that people say my voice can sometimes be a little bassy. But again, $37.99, you're really not beating this price for the longevity that this has, which has been like over 5 years now. The longevity of this mouse, and on top of that, oh, here goes my dog's barking. No, stop it. The longevity of this mouse and just what it does for the price, it's crazy. This is a very good microphone. See, dog's barking, trying to screw up my video. Forgive me. FIO K7 DAC amp. So the FIO K7, this is the DAC audio source that I use for my headphones specifically. You can't go wrong with the DAC, especially when you're using higher end audio gear, and I wholly recommend using high end audio gear because you get the best audio quality for gaming and music. Enjoy your setup, you know what I mean? This, again, for immersive sound, beautiful. This thing does technical. It gives you a spacious sound, and it even has an amplifier in it to boost it by THX. If I could kind of get a zoom in on that THX logo, I guess you really can't, but you can see on the top right there next to the knob. It's got a THX. It's a very good certification amplifier in there for a price too. $200. These things get expensive sometimes, but this is just an all-arounder. It's technical sound, very detailed. It's not too bright in terms of like warm sound. It's more or less like a subtle sound, but like you hear everything in detail, very clear, very precise location for especially for competitive gaming, but also, like I said, the immersive sound, very good. This is just a good all-around. It's not it doesn't excel in anything fucking amazing except for the technicality of it, which means like the details in certain positions, very like prominent. I would hear footsteps in Battlefield far away, much more than I've ever heard in gaming audio, and it's been crazy in terms of like gaming headphones. So very good. $200, can't beat it. And it's longevity, obviously it's been doing great. You buy this when you buy some good audio gear, one and done. That's it. You won't have to think about it anymore. So that's why I wholly recommend this one specifically. Then you got the Harmonic Dyne Zeus Elites wired. Now this is a little bit overkill, but again, I'm paying the money specifically for, which I'm telling you right now, is the all-around usage. So I could take my streaming day done, gaming competitively done, and I'm giving you 100% like, hey, you know what? I'm going to chill for the day. I want to play some good-ass music, right? I just want to listen to some good music. I want to hear details all around me, super fucking crazy 360-degree, just fucking hearing sounds in every location that you've never heard before with any headphones. This right here, especially because it's $419, obviously with the $42 coupon, which is really good for people, $377. This gives you literally everything, and the aesthetic is really nice, too. I like the wood design personally, and that grill is pretty fucking crazy. But this thing right here is just the all-around top dog for the price. If you go anything higher than this, it's only because you're slightly improving above it. Slightly improving, because anything above this, I feel like it's just a slight improvement. Slight improvement. Obviously, it's going to be sharper and more detailed once you spend a lot more money. But again, for the price, like anything below this is literally below this. This thing, there's no meeting this. This is like, I would say this is the plateau of like going from high tier down to mid tier. This is literally like you're about to go into high tier, or this is technically probably, I would say, even high tier because of the audio quality. I would say this is even high tier at the price, like just scratching into the high tier. $377, I believe that would be the price for this with the coupon. It looks and sounds really good. It's got a high quality cable, as you can see below on the ear cups. High quality cable, something that should be buying outside of just stock cables. Very, very good. The audio source is more of a V shape. So when I talk about V shape, I mean you have the bass raised, which is the low end, and then the high end raised, and then the mids are kind of recessed, which means it comes down a little bit, so it looks like a V. So these headphones do very fun sound, and obviously they're very spacious too, but they also keep it a little bit more intimate in certain aspects, to where important details in audio, for example, let's say besides music, inside gaming competitively, you could hear finite details of footsteps and where they are going, and that is something special. Also comes with, these are the cables here, but it also comes with a carrying case as well, so you got yourself some, you know, badass looking carrying case when you're taking your headphones on the go. These things are amazing. I've been on search for headphones, or for good audiophile headphones, for a long time, and I'll tell you right now, this has been endgame for me. There's nothing that even remotely intrigues me at this point. It's been really hard to get to this point because I've spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and also, you know, selling and returning headphones to get to this specific one, to go, finally found it. This thing is great. Trust me, if you're willing to spend the money, get it. It's good. It's really good. I'm throwing IEMs up here because a lot of people with doesn't like headphones outside of gaming, specifically in terms of, or you know, music and gaming, and people don't like to have the headband. So I also have IEMs as well, and as you can see, they're currently unavailable. And the reason why I'm showing you these is because these are just not only really unique, and the reason why I wanted to show them is because they're really rare to find, and they're still really fucking good for everything. But at the same time too, just to give you an idea that you could still get IEMs, which are in-ear monitors, aka earbuds. You could get these for gaming and music and actually have them at the highest quality, better than anything you could offer. A lot of people like to use AirPods. These things blow AirPods out of the fucking water. These things have, well, this one specifically has some of the craziest designs. It's got a planar diaphragm driver, which is literally like a square driver inside there. These are also open back IEMs. And then you have a PZT driver, which again, that's a more technical thing of the design of it. It's a very uniquely built IEM to give that certain sound. I would say these give you a bit of a V shape as well, in terms of the raised, the low end is raised and the high end is raised, but this more or less gives you a more sharper, detailed, like crispier sound in your ear. The other one's more or less like a very comfortable all around, but this thing is just very sharp. Like it feels very it's an addicting sound in terms of like sharp, crisp, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very sharp and crisp sound, very fine, detailed sound from a driver that's that small. Honestly, it's crazy. But yeah, these are called the Rapgo Hook X. HBB, which is a I was gonna say Huntington Beach. It is the Hawaiian Bad Boy collaboration build of these. And again, you're gonna find some IEMs. There's some that are $50 that are really good. There's some that are $100 that are really good. This was $270. But again, in the end, this thing was supposed to be something that I could use on the go, and I could game with it, and I can do both just fine. So these are nothing short of amazing. I definitely recommend, if you're looking for in-ear monitor stuff, look somewhere in this realm. Linsol's a good brand to go to. Then you also have like Truth Ear, and there's just plenty of them out there. You just got to do your research. But again, from $20 to like $350, you could find a plethora of IEMs. They're so popular because a lot of people like the in-ear monitor game right now. They love to use it for gaming. They love to use it for music. This is literally your all-arounder here. You could stay away from $400 headphones if you want to and get these. For me personally, I can only use these for so long gaming, then it feels kind of weird in my ears. But at the same time, I really like these for on the go. I'll listen to these on the go, skateboarding or whatever, outside of just normal life, you know? I like to throw these on and listen to the best quality audio. It's crazy. So anyways, again, we're not showing the monitor yet. It's really good. So as you can see, it says last purchase March 9th. This is my newest product, one of my newest products. So this is the Asus ROG Strix B650E-F Wi-Fi gaming motherboard. Don't use Wi-Fi on this thing. Obviously, I can. It's plugged up. Don't use it. But this specifically is one of the most stable and cool motherboards that I've used ever. And I mean, it's been weird because I have not ran into a single crash since hooking this up with my new CPU and RAM. This is where it becomes crazy. So in terms of this specific motherboard and everything else I'm about to show you after this, this thing, for the price specifically too, you have an upgrade path, which means like if you want to upgrade to DDR5 support, obviously it's DDR5 is already there, but in terms of like PCIe Gen 5, you know, the faster storage device speeds and all that, this thing's ready to go. And you won't find that in a whole lot of motherboards around this price. Like sometimes there's some of them that do, but like it's very, very, you know, anything really cheaper, you ain't gonna see that Gen 5 support. So this thing is ready to go. Looks aesthetically cool, especially for my PC build specifically. You got 3 M.2 slots on the motherboard. It's got very good cooling. RGB looks very clean and subtle. It's nothing crazy, but it's just nice. It pops there very well. Looks futuristic. And overall, Asus, I'm a big fan of Asus. I think they've been very good to me through my years of gaming. So I have a power supply as well. That's Asus ROG, 1000 watt. But again, that's not listed on here. It's just a very, 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 very good motherboard. And it's been treating me very well. I haven't had any issues with it. And I plan on actually using one of those M.2 slots soon. I just don't know like a good real use case reason other than just downloading a bunch of story-based games and just saying, let's play some story-based games. So no reason for it, but anyways, very, very good motherboard. If you're planning on upgrading to DDR5 platform, keep this one in mind. Only caveat, which again, it's not a huge one. It doesn't even bother me at all, really. But the only caveat is some of these motherboards include, it's just all DDR5 motherboards, but some of these motherboards have a very slow boot up time from the get-go because the motherboard wants to retrain your RAM every time it starts up. But that's very, very, very good for when you're playing games after it's done its process and you're in the computer. It's very good for stability. So please allow it to do that. A lot of people like to try to counter out that because they're just so picky about the boot up time being like 40-50 seconds. Just let it boot up. It's very, very good. It's a super minor detail, but it's very, very good. 100% recommend it. It is great. Now we got the AMD ASRock. Actually, you know, we're going to skip this one real quick because I want to talk about something combined with the CPU. So this is the CPU as well, but we're going to talk about this in a second. So I got the AIO. Obviously, this is a great AIO. It's done me service. It's one of the older Lian Li Galahads. I use this because, as you can see, it has an RGB circle around the cooler, and it's been known to be really good with cooling. It's only got one left in stock, so you got to find it probably on a different website. But if you find it on here and you get it, great. It has the best RGB fans. I think they're the most milky looking, creamy fucking RGB like color, just shining. I wish I could show you. I'll show you when I get the camera, but it just looks very bold. It's like something that I'm just like, I wish all my fans looked that bold in color. It looks fucking beautiful. I like it a lot. I would personally use these fans everywhere if I could, but again, they're older fans. So but I have those fans and I'm keeping those fans. I was gonna switch them over to the new fans I have, but these do great. The cooling is great, especially with my CPU. It's supposed to be running a little hotter, but it does not run hotter. It's fucking this AIO is fucking awesome for 180 bucks. You really can't beat it. I got it for 150, believe it or not, so I got to get an even better deal. But looks good. Obviously, it's got that like chrome look on the top for the radiator. Not a big fan of that, but it does kind of give the Lian Li / Razer look to the PC, which is awesome. So it's really, really cool. And it's also supported for Intel and AMD, even DDR5 AMD, DDR4 AMD. So you got both options there. It's a very, very, very good AIO. And obviously you can see right here, you could take the cap off, and that's how I have it, where it shows the Lian Li on there. Very, very cool. So it is the RAM. Again, another new purchase with my setup. I got this one specifically because of stability and very, very low latency for DDR5. And again, flawless 6,000 mega transfers, CL30. And from what I've noticed, I mean, I'm not going to get into too much detail about the G-Skill Trident Z Neos. They're fucking awesome for AMD, especially AMD products. They're very good. It is a very, very, very good RAM. Stable. Had issues with that last time. Stable. But please, DDR5, just get 2 sticks. I know you want your aesthetic to be looking good. Don't worry about that. 2 sticks. It looks good still, and your PC will thank you because it is much more stable with 2 sticks. 4 sticks, you won't even be able to fucking get that AMD Expo, which is the overclock of the the overclock of the memory. Just trust me. I have had not one crash since I've had this PC, and I'm fucking loving it. So this is just the way to go. Obviously, if you're Intel, get something Intel, but if you're going AMD, just get this or get something close to this. Find something that's very AMD oriented with good reviews, because again, 4.7 star rating. This thing's been used in test reviews through many people, if not companies, using it as well. Really, really good. And obviously right here, you got the Lee Uni fans, Infinity fans. This is the fans that are all around. I have 6 of them. There's all around my case. As you can see, they look pretty good. They keep my PC very cool. And when it gets spinning up, it's not even that loud. It's very quiet. But they daisy chain together really well. So obviously, I just wanted to show you the one fan as it looks, but I have 6 of them, and they do daisy chain together and connect. And then you can see the RGB. I mean, kind of can see it right here. I'll show you when I get a close up on my PC. But very, very good. They're obviously a little more pricey, but again, this is what everyone really goes to for sure. This is like their go-to for fans. It seems like it's the most popular fan that people get right now, which unfortunately I don't like that. I don't like copy what everybody else got, but you know what? It kind of just went with the aesthetic of the build. Lee Razer. I'm dealing with it. It's fine. Looks good. You'll love this fan. It keeps it cool. My PC's been running flawless. Like I said, stability. And then obviously we get to the monitor, the CPU, and the GPU. And again, I'm gonna just talk about the monitor real quick because the motherboard, I mean the CPU and the GPU need to be explained together so you understand why I mean in terms of all-around build. So MSI MPG 271QRX. This is the hottest, and I mean the hottest monitor on the market. You cannot find this anywhere. As you can see, currently unavailable, but it's only because it's sold out all the fucking time. I am blessed to have this monitor I'm looking at in my face right now. I am blessed because this thing was a nightmare to get, and I honestly got lucky. So quick story real quick, because we're already getting to 30 minutes of this video, but I'm hoping you guys stick it through. Hope you guys had time to watch this. I bought a KTC monitor, and I used this KTC monitor, and then I paid about $700 for that monitor. This thing was $800, so it's $100 more. This thing has double, well, I wouldn't say double, but close to double of the refresh rate, which is 360 hertz, QD OLED, which means it's got a glossy panel, which looks really fucking good. It's got QD OLED, which is again a better, more durable version of OLED, I guess, per testing. That's what it is so far. And again, you got the true black HDR 400. You got 3-year OLED warranty, burn-in warranty, versus 1 year. It's got a 4.9 star rating versus the other one, which is, you know, it's a good entry level WOLED in terms of OLED monitors there, but it's a WOLED. This thing is QD OLED. So QD OLED right now, this is just the all-around, I would say this is the all-around best monitor you could get, especially if you're doing competitive gaming and story-based gaming. You can't beat this. And there is other monitors out there similar to this, but a little bit more expensive, aka the Alienware. And then you also got Gigabyte coming out with one, which is fairly close to this price, but not near as in-depth even as this monitor is. This thing is just purely the best monitor on the market. I would say even for sure the best monitor on the market. You got no ghosting, 0.03 millisecond response time. I mean, literally, once you get 240 hertz and above, and I mean, literally, once you get past that 240 hertz, you start seeing how crazy this is for competitive gaming. It is literally like light years game changing. The only thing that could beat this is a 480 hertz monitor, which is the dual mode LG that's been coming out, the newest one. And again, in reality, that thing is just overpriced. It's like $1,400. This thing is $800. You can't beat this all around for the price. It is literally like, put it and go to every website and check if you want this monitor. This is like the end game monitor, end game of end games. Check everything for notify. You may get lucky and get this monitor, because I did. I returned that KTC monitor once I had this purchased, because I was like, holy crap, I just actually have $800 sent to this company, and they had the monitor in stock. The last one. And sure enough, 2 days later, it was at my doorstep, and here we are looking at it, and wow, I am fucking blessed. Thank you, because this has been nothing short of amazing for every aspect that I have for gaming. I've been loving this. Every time I get on my computer, it's a visual treat to myself. So definitely keep an eye out for this monitor if you can, or just go spend a little bit of money and get the similar panel Alienware, and you'll still be happy. It's both 360 hertz QD OLED. It's just for the price. If you can find it for the price here, you're lucky. And if you get it, you pat yourself on the back because you've done a good job. Anyways, QD OLED, like I said, 1440p, 360 hertz OLED. HDR looks amazing on it. I don't know what's going on with this. I guess that's the cooling way. That's what they're talking about, the cooling. Oh yeah, passive cooling. And then you got KVM support. You got Type C, 90 watt power. It's got all everything you need. It's got everything you need. That's another thing too. This thing's got everything you need in terms of like HDMI 2.1. It's literally done. said it and done. It's great. MSI, you did an amazing job with this, and I'm blessed to have it. Thank you very much. Sorry, I always get crazy about this monitor. It is fucking awesome. It's definitely worth the money. OLED's the way to go if you can. Please, trust me. And then last but not least, the end game of explanations here of why this PC is crazy, and I mean literally crazy, is right here, the GPU and CPU. So I have the AMD ASRock Radeon 7900 XT Phantom Gaming, 20 gigabytes of VRAM. It's overclockable, obviously, and it's just a really aesthetically sharp looking GPU, especially when you're using it for the specific case of looking like more of a futuristic build. And that's kind of where I went in terms of aesthetics. But in terms of performance, that's a big thing, because performance is a big deal. This thing's been rock solid. The only thing I can tell you for sure is there's only been 2 issues I ran into, and this is more of an AMD issue, I would say, per software. But also this card specifically is, one, I have to auto overclock it or overclock it in some way or another, and the only reason is because I feel like it completely removes any kind of micro stuttering that I was ever seeing. And again, I haven't really tested this outside the last few driver updates to make sure it's actually the GPU, but I'm going to assume after a couple updates it was still doing it. I'm assuming it's the GPU, but as soon as I even auto overclock, which that's what I normally do anyways, is auto overclock, just a slight overclock, that's all it really does. It literally eliminates it and makes it fucking rock solid. No crashes, no driver timeouts. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very, very good graphics card. And then obviously the other thing too is the well, honestly, that's pretty much it. But the software side, which could be for a lot of graphics cards, is the in-game overlay. If you use AMD Radeon software and use in-game overlay, something with that causes hitching or a micro hitch. And I don't know if it's just every graphics card, but ever since I told other people that have AMD graphics cards to turn it off, seems like it clears any kind of confusion about that. So there's no more a micro hitching that happens. So just turn that in off in game. I don't think it's the graphics card. I think it's just a software for a lot of people outside of even a 7900 XT, but this is a very, very good graphics card. And to go with that is the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. This is the best CPU on the market. And again, prices always fluctuate with this thing, but again, as you can see, it's a 4.8 stars, practically a fucking 5-star rating overall. This thing at launch had a small issue, and it was something like an overheating issue. Obviously, Gamers Nexus and a lot of companies already fucking figured that out quick. They fixed it. But my experience, not a single crash. And especially for streaming and gaming, if you're in that ballpark like me, streaming and gaming, this thing doesn't use a single bit of CPU performance. I mean, literally, my old setup DDR4, at least I will go from like 2 to 3% CPU usage to like 8 or 9 at certain times gaming while streaming on one PC. This thing at the high has been 0.8. That's not even 1% CPU usage. And the most beautiful thing about that is, and I want to talk about this, is that, believe it or not, this PC, GPU and CPU combo right here, boom, boom, literally gets better performance from streaming versus gaming by itself. Believe it or not. And I'm about to explain that right now. I just wanted to show you guys that real quick, and I'll explain it right now while I'm more full screen. So, the GPU and CPU, if you guys don't know, the 7900 XT, technically I would say even the 7900 GRE, which is the newer version or whatever, but it's lesser performance, is actually the best bottleneck between the CPU and GPU. You can't get better than that. This is the best gaming CPU on the market, gaming. Intel might have a slightly better one, but they're, you know, it's just overall way more expensive, way more power wattage usage, not fucking worth it at all. Stay away from it. However, unless you're building a 4090 and you want to see more of your 4090, which barely you will, but there you go. This combination, 7900 XT especially, 7900 GRE might be, depends on the game, but overall 7900 XT and the 7800 X3D is the best paired combo for CPU and GPU, bar none, period. Proven through many games, but Battlefield specifically proved it really well, because you could look at an FPS counter where it shows the CPU and GPU's performance output, and they're both outperforming neck and neck. And I know this because I went from DDR4 to DDR5. So for my Ryzen 9 5900X CPU, I was seeing like roughly 140 to 180 FPS, and my GPU was putting out 300. And so I was obviously only seeing that 145 to 185, depending on spots. Sometimes I would get up to 200, but again, it was just like, it was bouncing around, and the CPU was only allowing me to literally see CPU performance. So once I got this CPU It literally brought the GPU's FPS down a little bit, but it also brought the CPU performance up, and it literally neck and neck. I mean, I'm talking neck and neck. It's like 280 FPS, 300 FPS for CPU, around that mark for the most part, versus the GPU, which is doing 280 to 300 FPS, sometimes a little more between the two. Sometimes you'll see 280, sometimes you'll see 300 from the GPU separated. You know what I mean? It's just, again, it's going to fluctuate in game regardless, but it is literally the tied neck and neck of bottlenecks. So you're going to see all of your CPU performance. You're going to see all of your GPU performance. And really, again, this was on stream, mind you. I'm talking about the neck and neck comparison is on stream. Off stream, it's like 10 to 20 I'll say 10 to 20 FPS GPU is a little more powerful than the CPU. 10 to 20 FPS in terms of the bottleneck, which is still not bad. But considering that when I'm streaming, using GPU encoder specifically, which will still pull from CPU, but barely in your broadcasting software as a streamer, this GPU performs better as it's taxed for streaming. And I've noticed this because I was seeing better FPS performance and better fluidity and latency when I was streaming versus not streaming. Mind blown. I don't know. Someone explain that to me as a technical aspect, why that's happening. But in every game, it shows that. If I'm streaming, I'm getting better performance. If I'm gaming outside of streaming, not streaming, I'm getting lesser performance. What the fuck? But that's bottlenecks. That's all I'm going on based off of is bottlenecks. The GPU gets taxed more, which makes the CPU come out more. And guess what? Now they're tying up closer. Guess what? Boom. You got yourself an amazing PC. So back to the overall end of this, before I start showing my build and then just calling it a day. You have the lowest click latency esports setup. You have smoothness, for no friction, kind of buttery control. You got an all-around keyboard that does everything, low latency. You got audio quality, top tier. You're hearing everything. Really, really clear too. And then you got GPU and CPU for lowest bottleneck. And then you got a cool PC like cooling. By the way, which the case is a Lee & Lee X Razer build. You can't find this either. That's why I didn't list it. Again, everything will be in my description. But you got the fans, obviously everything just flawlessly keeping it cool. Stability. It runs flawless. This thing is crazy. And in the monitor, obviously, you're flexible. You could play fucking any game at a high refresh rate. And on top of that, you get better resolution. And you can enjoy your story-based games at the highest, peak visual experience. Or you can hop into Overwatch or whatever fucking game that doesn't take anything resource-wise and have max frames. Buttery smooth. This thing does it all. It's endgame. There's nothing else. Like, someone explain to me, what do you think I'm going to need? You could say camera or whatever, but in the end, this camera does a solid job. I have lighting. There's nothing I need. There's literally nothing I need. And the reason why I'm trying to teach you guys about this is because this is kind of where you as a gamer need to get. You as someone that wants to enjoy their build need to get. You shouldn't look at upgrade paths. Yeah, sure, you could have upgrade paths if you want, but you really don't need upgrade paths. And honestly, it saves you money. This PC build right here, easily like another 5 years of just fucking flawless. Don't need it. 5 years. 5 years. Flawless. Don't need anything else. Done. Pay, forget. That's why I'm telling you about this. And especially for gaming competitively, come watch my content on Twitch or YouTube, and you'll see what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm putting out some content, and you guys need to see it. So anyways, real quick, I got the camera out here. I just want to get like a little bit of a close-up on my setup. It's going to be kind of weird to do this, but let's see if I can do it kind of comfortably. So anyways, my headset stand right here is my Razer headset stand, the base station V2, I believe, or V3. As you can see, it's got the harmonic dyne Zeus Elites chilling on it. It's got the cable hooked up, and there's my DAC, the FIO K7, with a little bit of a Razer fidget spinner, because again, Razer all day. Got my Braven mug sitting right here, which normally houses my esports mouse. I put it in here for business when I'm just chilling. You got the keyboard sitting right here, a little bit of dust and crumbs. Again, I got to clean up. Then you got the Basilisk sitting here, obviously, on this amazing glass pad, as you can see, smooth to the touch. You just dust it off real quick right in the beginning. Still looks brand fucking new. It is awesome. And then obviously you have the PC built here. Ignore all the cables sitting out right here. I'm trying to figure out a way I could cover this, but it's kind of just a swarm. You don't see it on stream, it don't matter, right? So anyways, you got the GPU here. It's doing a nice little light build setup. You could see the reflection of the case, so bear with me on it. But you can see how, look how creamy and bright these lights get. It's kind of hard to see with this camera specifically, but yeah, this thing, wow. Wonder if I could like focus it. it's not gonna work right now. You can see right there, it's just a creamy, well put design. And then obviously I got the streamer cables. Again, everything will be in the description if you're curious about that. Fans, the 6 fans, and then you got the motherboard, which you kind of see. It's hard to see, but you see that little logo right there. That's the little RGB. That's not reflecting on the glass when I look at it, but again, from this point of view with the camera, it's showing that reflection. It's kind of hard to see, but you got that. And then you got the 2 sticks of RAM, which again, it just looks really, really good, matches aesthetically well. And then obviously the monitor. Again, glossy panel monitor. So as you can see, for light reflection, you can see the case. It looks like a mirror, right? So if you have any lighting behind you, it's going to reflect this really well. But since the monitor's in front of me, nothing. So it looks nothing but just an eye-popping OLED experience. And wow, 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 is it fucking amazing. I love it. So anyways, quick run through of just a close-up. Oh. So, see, I knew I was gonna be a little weird to put that back, but it's okay. I'll adjust it for streaming later on. Room's a little bit of a mess. Just bear with me, all right? So, regardless. Anyways, I know I've been keeping you guys for over an hour, almost 45 minutes, but just want to say thank you if you did watch it all the way through. I truly appreciate it. If you're truly curious about any of this stuff, please in the comment section below, ask me. Ask away. I'm here. I'm ready. Whatever you need answered. Please, please, please. Again, I'm a Razer guy, so Razer's been the full on through. But if you like Logitech, get Logitech. You know, just do your research. Get some good Logitech. I mean, there's obviously, in my opinion, bad Logitech, all of it really. But if you like Logitech, get Logitech. Get whatever you like. Get Corsair, get SteelSeries, get whatever. Just, you know, build your aesthetic the way you want. Even enthusiast brand stuff. Get fucking Glorious or whatever. Get whatever you want. You know, but in the end, do your research. Just make sure that when you get it, you're getting it and you don't need to worry about anything else. That's been the big thing for me. And guess what? Now I have literally a middle ground for everything. And honestly, I believe this is probably by far, I don't want to try to sound cocky, just being me, but I think this is endgame. Like, this is, you can't get better than this mix. The only thing that gets better is if what you're building around specifically. But guess what? Now it's not an all around. You're building enthusiasts, you know, like immersion, then where's your competitive, right? Low latency. If you don't have low latency, then what are you doing? Then I guess you're just building for the aesthetic, right? So in the end, you know, you got options left and right, but do you have an all-around option? That's why you get this build. That's why you build it exactly like this. Can your build do everything well and at a high level? Probably not. So now you know what you could look for. If you have questions, come talk to me. I'm here in the comment section. Like I said, please follow, like, and subscribe. Everything truly means the world to me. Thank you, thank you. Twitch.tv. Most likely I'll be live. Braven, you know, just type it in the search. My name will pop up. You'll see my logo. Same logo as YouTube. Look for me. Please, show me some support. And we're all passionate gamers here, right? If you're watching this through, you're a passionate gamer. You want to build something crazy. You want to get some information. Please, just come show support. I'll show you support. All right? I'll see you guys next time.